George, that leads us really nicely into talking about playing live, which is obviously something that you've done a lot of. I've sort of got a few questions on this. All your songs are so different.
Yeah.
How do you decide in which order to play them? That probably goes back to how do you decide in which order to put it on an album. Do you look at a venue? Do you consider your audience when you make those decisions?
Always, and the main thing I would say is that I have multiple contingency plans. Always. The set list I decide on. I don't think I've ever decided on a set list any earlier than a week in advance.
Yeah.
Mainly because I might have written a new song by then and I might want to put it in. But it's tough, but I'm terrible. I nearly always the set list I decided 5 hours before we go on will not be the same set list that we end up playing.
And how does your band take that?
better than you would think. They are they're very good. In those kind of situations, I always try and make sure that I am sticking pretty close to the set list, and if I haven't, I let him know as soon as I know I'm going to change it. But yeah, it changes. It depends because I play a lot of more jazz venues. So for them, we sort of rearrange the whole set so it's more acoustic and more jazzy. But but when it's a more sort of harder venue, we can really rock out and just have great fun with the music and stuff. And the live is where I feel I come alive. I enjoy nothing better than doing it. And I think the whole reason why I really enjoyed the recording process was because I was just playing it live. We were playing it like we would play a gig. And particularly as I was actually playing a real piano as well, it meant I could really go for it.
Yeah. Which you won't often get the opportunity to do.
No, unfortunately, most venues don't have the space to bring one in, or
Particularly not a grand piano.
Yes, no, which I would love.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes, what a grand piano is the piano at Rockfield, who I named Mrs. B. This is Borsendorfer brand. A very formidable opponent. She is. She's very tough. All her keys. So I do a lot of glissando stuff, and I just had to tape up my fingers with gaffer tape.
I noticed that in the videos.
Yeah, just because it was like every key is a real workout to hit down, but when coming down to it, it was like smacking down a key individually, which
bruising your fingers.
Bringing up calluses, and then calluses were just falling off, and so it was getting a bit gross. Actually, we did a gig a couple of weeks after the recording, and all the blisters that I had done had fermented enough and actually burst halfway through the set, which was not pleasant at all.
No.
You've not got any tape?
I'm very sorry, I'm about to gross roll out. My blister has burst.
It's terrible.
Should we move swiftly on from
yes.
What I wanted to actually, another point about this is obviously you try out all your songs at your gigs.
Yes.
So everything that you did for the album, you have played.
Yeah,
I mean, in some cases over a few years, and had built your audience sort of appreciation, and so therefore going into the studio to record, as you've just said, probably was like just having a live gig, and it meant that you knew your music inside out.
Yeah,
which presumably made the whole process so much easier.
It made it amazingly easier. It meant I could really just, and because also I wasn't recording the vocals at the same time, I could really concentrate on my piano and my playing. And I was actually, there was points where we were, I think it was on the second day when we were doing a thing, and I just sort of jokingly turned to Matt and said, I think we're going to have to get someone else in to play the keyboard, just because I was so blown away by what the guys were doing. But Matt was, I was really shocked at how blown away he was by my playing. It was a very humbling to have him say, no, you're...
Oh, absolutely.
And to sort of looking back on it, he's totally right. The essence of all of those songs, all written on the piano, all written by me. And to have them
so it should have been you.
Yeah. Just disco it up. Jeez, I don't think I've got enough tape on it. Yes!
I'm not ready for the click.
Smoke, George. Tell me about the smoke. This, just from reading the album cover, this song developed over time. And one thing you say that you've seen, and this seems to sort of be a recurring theme, that you start a song with one thing in mind, and then, but find it evolves into something else.
Yeah, I've sort of taught myself, as it were, to not let that panic me. If
I think it's a brilliant
it's one of those things. It's that you have. It's a very unnerving thing at the start. Is that if a song you thought was going one way starts to go another way, sometimes you sort of push it away and don't touch it for ages. But it's being open to that process, and The Smoke was the first one that really did that, because it was written, I was writing it about in a sort of city setting, and talking about skyscrapers basically, and I was thinking about, I don't know why it suddenly became London, but I started to put this groovy beat, not beat, but the groovy piano part to it, and it was one of the first songs that I started to do as an upbeat, up-tempo song. Okay. And so it then, I don't really know why it started to become London, but I've
presumably
always,
because you visited London, you love London.
I've loved it all my life, and I was told, or I'd heard, that London was occasionally referred to, or used to be referred to as the Big Smoke.
Yeah, I think it still is, particularly for people like us in the country. And
it really spoke to me as an inspiration to sort of think, oh yeah, smoking. It's quite a nice thing. And then I just put on my storytelling cap and was thinking, well, you've got a few things there. You've got a real character with having Big Ben, overlooking the city, and it being quite an ancient building. But then you've also got the new element of an eye that's watching over the whole place and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then the river of the Thames running through and connecting all the dots. So it was just kind of just to easily tell a story and just to show my love for it as a city. Because every time I go up there, I love it. I get such a great vibe from London. It's such a beautiful city, and I don't really know where the scatting came from, or that whole bit. I guess it was like with most of the other ideas, I haven't done it before, and I try and put it in. And
you're very open to sort of experimentation.
And if it works, leave it or just stick with it. It was great to record, it was the first song that I really heard Paul play guitar for, Paul Bond, and just, he blew us all away. We all felt like we should have been charged for admission for starters, because he just puts on a performance, and it's not in a like, I'm going to perform for you now.
No,
it comes out of him. It just completely, the guitar, the way the beat just flows from Tom, the guitar, and all of its licks and riffs and everything just completely vibe off this guy. It blew us away. It was like he was channeling Slash or something. It was mind blowing. That's the same goes for that with like the whole album. It was a case of just sort of going, these guys can do pretty much anything that I ask of them. This is an amazing thing to be able to do and be able to to ask for it.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh dear me! They only come. They're like proper little bunny ears.
Hello, George.
Yes.
Ah, it's fine. It's fine. Sorry.
Put him in his cage.
Yes. Shut his door.
Hi!
Yeah.
Hi, door!
Did you just end that with your buttocks?
But that was a real good one and really good fun to play. And that was a real live feel when we recorded that. It was just it was just ridiculously over the top and awesome. It was so much fun to play.
No, which is amazing. Exactly as it should be.
Fantastic take from you, George. Really well played.